There are films that entertain you, and then there are films that rewire your brain. The 2006 epic about 300 Spartan warriors defending a mountain pass against the largest army the ancient world had ever seen was exactly that kind of film. It fused the raw energy of a graphic novel with the scope of a Hollywood blockbuster, and audiences had never seen anything quite like it. But the story behind the camera is every bit as extraordinary as the one on screen. The sacrifices, the ingenuity, the sheer stubbornness of a director who refused to compromise his vision. Here is everything that went into building one of the most visually striking films of the modern era. The first thing you need to understand is that the physical transformation the actors underwent was not a Hollywood exaggeration. The men cast as Spartan warriors were put through a conditioning program that would have broken most professional athletes. These characters were supposed to be men who had trained since childhood, who had known nothing but war. You cannot fake that with lighting and camera angles. You have to build it into the body itself. The trainer brought in to lead the program throughout every conventional rulebook. There were no chest days or leg days, no comfortable routines, no workouts built around appearance. Every session focused on functional movement, explosive total body effort that would actually be useful in combat. And crucially, the program never repeated itself. Every single day brought something new, something the body had not adapted to yet. The theory was that constant variation forces constant adaptation. When you see those men moving through battle sequences, the strain is real. The sweat is real. The exhaustion on their faces is something no acting coach can manufacture. Now here is something that genuinely reframes the entire film once you know it. Almost everything you see on screen that is not a human being was created digitally after filming wrapped. The cliffs, the skies, the blood-red horizons, the impossible landscapes, all of it was built by visual effects artists working from footage shot almost entirely on a sound stage. Roughly 9 out of every 10 shots were constructed around a blue screen. The choice of blue over the more common green was deliberate. The film's warm, bronze-heavy palette worked better against blue. What this gave the filmmakers was something almost no production has ever had: complete control over every single visual element in every single frame. Every image could be composed like a painting, which is precisely what the director intended. The visual inspiration came directly from a graphic novel, and the director made the decision early on to treat that source material not as a starting point but as a literal blueprint. Sequences were reconstructed almost image for image. The framing, the character placement, the angle of a weapon, the way light fell across a scene, all of it was cross-referenced against the original panels. Translating that quality into a film meant developing a visual language built around slow-motion photography, sudden bursts of speed, extreme contrast, and compositional choices borrowed directly from illustration. The result looked unlike anything that had come before it, and would go on to influence visual storytelling across film, advertising, and game design for years. The design of the film's antagonists deserves its own mention. The elite warriors serving the Persian god king were not designed to look like soldiers. They were designed to provoke dread. The creative team drew inspiration not from historical sources but from horror cinema. The masks were crafted to look inhuman, their expressions blank and fixed, their proportions subtly wrong in ways the eye registers without processing. When they appear on screen moving in formation, they produce a visceral unease that goes well beyond any rational military threat. They feel like something outside the natural order, which was precisely the point. Behind the scenes, the production was paying a real physical price for its commitment to authenticity. Battle choreography at this level does not go perfectly every day, and with minimal protective gear worn for aesthetic reasons, injuries accumulated. The lead actor later described a production where a visit to the medical team was a near-daily occurrence. The aches and strains visible in the performances were not acting choices. They were honest records of what the cast had actually endured. The costume department faced a challenge that illustrates just how seriously the production took its craft. Over 600 individual Spartan costumes were created for a film depicting 300 warriors. Battle scenes destroy wardrobe. Repeated takes across complex choreography smear blood and dirt into fabric in ways that cannot be reversed. Having multiple versions of each costume gave the team the flexibility to manage this, while also allowing costumes to grow progressively more damaged across the chronological shoot, reflecting the physical toll of a sustained military campaign. Every piece was individually weathered by hand, given its own specific history of damage. In an era when digital tools could theoretically handle this, the choice to build it practically into actual wardrobe gave the film a tactile authenticity that would have been impossible to fake. One sequence that audiences consistently describe as among the film's most atmospheric was created under conditions that would surprise most viewers. The extended battle fought in driving rain, with water sheeting across the ground, was filmed on a completely dry sound stage. Not a single drop of actual water fell during production. Every raindrop on screen was added by visual effects artists afterward. This approach gave the team complete control over how the weather behaved from moment to moment. The intensity could be tuned to match the emotional pitch of specific shots. The choreography could be performed safely, without the physical complications real water would have introduced. The seamlessness of the result is a testament to the skill of everyone involved. The fitness program used to prepare the cast did not stay contained within the production. A specific workout built around 300 total repetitions of compound exercises spread through fitness media with remarkable speed. Pull-ups, deadlifts, push-ups, box jumps, combined into a single brutal circuit. The trainer who designed it had intended it as a one-time test of the actor's conditioning, not a repeatable program, but the fitness community adopted it enthusiastically. It became one of the most widely attempted workout programs of its decade, and the philosophy behind it influenced the broader fitness industry in ways still felt today. What the film ignited in popular culture was something nobody fully anticipated. A single moment, a war cry delivered over the edge of a well, spread across the early internet with a velocity that marked something genuinely new in the relationship between cinema and online culture. Within weeks of the film's release, the line had been remixed, parodied, and reproduced by ordinary people at a scale with no real precedent. It had a quality that made it endlessly shareable, a combination of genuine dramatic power and a slight absurdity that made both sincere appreciation and gentle mockery feel equally appropriate. Nearly 2 decades later, it remains one of the most instantly recognizable cultural references of its generation. The legacy of what this production accomplished extends in directions that were impossible to predict at the time. It demonstrated that a highly stylized, uncompromising visual approach could reach mainstream audiences without softening its edges. It showed that comic source material could be adapted with genuine artistic seriousness. It launched fitness trends, inspired visual artists, sparked cultural debates, and changed the visual grammar of action cinema. The themes at its core, sacrifice against impossible odds, the question of what a person stands for when everything is at stake, these do not age. The story had already survived 2,500 years before the cameras rolled. Everything that has happened since suggests it will survive considerably longer.